Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Today is Friday, June 14th, and we'll be taking a look at what all messages want to come through for you from God, Spirit, the Divine. So we're getting to the middle of the month, and that means it is middle of the month updates for the second half of June, sign grouping by sign grouping. So, oh my gosh, they're jumping today. So make sure you hit that subscribe and notification bell so that you're alerted as to when those extra videos are posting. But let's go ahead and jump in and see what wants to come through. All right. For the collective in general, we have the Hermit in reverse, we have the Devil in reverse, and we have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So there is this energy of feeling like you're exiled and almost kind of like cut off from your loved ones. It's like this self-imposed, I would say, period of reflection, but it almost has like a sadder tone to it. So where the Hermit in the upright is like, okay, I'm just going to sit here and focus on me, that almost has more of a happy tone, like you're actively engaging in healing and all of that sort of work, versus in reverse, it's almost like you feel this sense of, I've been shut out in the cold, and oh my gosh, now I'm totally broken. I've hit rock bottom and have to pick myself up. So it's almost more of that sort of energy, if that makes sense, in terms of that feeling of exile. We also do have our Seven of Pentacles in reverse, and that's going to be about like feeling unrewarded and you're abandoning certain projects. So in this one, she's watering the garden and all of that. But in the reverse, it's kind of like, okay, so I started working on this, but you know what? It's not really working out. Maybe I need to change direction. So it's almost that sense of feeling like things weren't panning out the way you thought they were going to in an area where you were putting in a lot of work. So that's leaving you in that feeling of exile. With the Devil in reverse, it is about breaking free from whatever is keeping you out of alignment, whatever is keeping you out of your life path and your mission here. So all three of them together, it's actually kind of a good sense. Like you have this epiphany of, wait a second, I'm continuing to invest time, energy, money into a situation, but nothing's really coming out of it. So I need to break free from that. And when you do, you might go through this period of feeling like you're on your own, like feeling like you're by yourself and just kind of like, what's going on here? So there's a little bit of that's happening. So that's kind of the energy for the collective in general. Now let's take a look sign grouping by sign grouping and see what wants to come through. We will start today with our fire signs. That is going to be Aries, Leo, Sag. And with that, we will take a look first at what is the challenge. So what is the challenge that our fire signs are facing here, please? This is the Queen of Wands in reverse. So some of this challenge is about this overbearing, selfish energy. So as you go through this, the challenge, and this can be one of two ways. It's either that you're dealing with somebody like that this situation is related to somebody that has this overbearing, selfish energy. So for some of you fire signs, it's going to be a matter of getting out of a situation where you feel like the jail warden is just Wayne's World, that movie from the I think 80s or whatever is coming to mind, and sucking out my will to live. Like if you have somebody like that in your life that is just this overbearing, selfish, like this is what we're doing, my way or the highway, like that's your challenge of dealing with somebody like that. For others of you, as you go through this where you're breaking free from something that's no longer serving you, part of that challenge will be to stand in your high vibration energy and not to get pulled into a selfish, overbearing energy, to make sure that you're not turning into the it's my way or the highway person. You do need to protect yourself, but do it in a way that's like a high vibration. I love myself, therefore I'm protecting myself, as opposed to things aren't the way I want. You better change. You better conform to what I want you to do. So, all right, let's take a look at this card here, Temperance in reverse. Um, this is showing that there's something out of balance. And this situation where you feel like you've been putting in this hard work and you're just not seeing the rewards for it, and this is, abandoning projects, it's because it's imbalanced. So for those of you on a twin flame journey, Temperance is Archangel Michael, so he's on the case, moving pieces around. Like, when you work on manifesting, the universe will move pieces that you did not even know go into a certain situation. So certain pieces are going to be moved around behind the scenes, but the situation you're in is because you have a lot of this energy of feeling imbalanced and feeling like, just having these maybe strong emotions, but they're like all over the place. Like, you feel like you're putting in more work than the other person, things like that. Let's take a look at some other cards, and see what other messages want to come through for you. The energy is gaining momentum. If you've been thinking about this for a while, because usually when you get to a point where it's like, all right, you're breaking free, because this is a lot of major arcana when you have both of those. When you get to a point of feeling like you need to break free from that devil energy, break free from whatever is keeping you out of alignment, whatever is keeping you off your path, when you get to that point, it's not like, oh, hey, the past couple days have been rough. It's usually a long time building. And so this one, the energy is gaining momentum. It's like you're gaining that confidence to say, you know what, this isn't balanced. And so this Temperance in reverse energy, both of those going together, it's kind of like acknowledging life is not supposed to be this imbalanced. If it is, I'm going to perpetually feel like I'm out of alignment, like I'm having to fight against the world for everything. Then your soul journey card is growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. And some of that energy could be gaining momentum too, that you're tired of playing small. You're tired of just getting up and doing the same thing every day. It's kind of like, from a growth perspective, realizing that you're here on this planet to do more than just, go to work every day, come back, get up and do it again the next day. Like, how can you grow as a soul? How can you grow and ascend? And how can you spread light and love in the world, as opposed to just, every day I'm getting up and I'm doing this one little thing, type of energy. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. If you're feeling stuck and you're feeling like, every day is just a toil, like you're getting up and I'm doing the same thing every day, and oh my gosh, this is boring, but this is just what grown-ups do, is you get up and you do the same thing every day of your life until you die. Dance with life. Like, find what is it that brings you joy? How can you change that energy? And that's really going to be your key to moving through this and breaking free from this devil energy, is what can you do to bring joy to your life? And what can you do to change the energy? So these two really, really, look at those colors. Like, most of the other colors in this deck, the Lightworkers deck, aren't necessarily these light mauve, beigey colors. So that really is going with this Temperance. Like, how do you change the energy? This dance with life. Do something to change your energy, to change it out of this feeling of everything is so lopsided, everything is so imbalanced. So that's really what your push is, fire signs, is do something to change your energy. All right, next we are on to our earth signs, which is our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's take a look and see what is the challenge, please, for our earth signs for today. Two of Pentacles. You feel like the challenge is that you're juggling these different priorities. So you can see the little doggy there. So you're dealing with a change. Like, there's something, you're kind of juggling back and forth between the two, trying to decide, do I do this? Do I do that? I don't know. And then it has a lot of this like back and forth energy. So some of them, some of the other twos where there's like a decision, the Two of Swords, and it's a crossroad and you have to make a decision. this, the Two of Pentacles has more of a dynamic feel, like really more of a juggling, like I'm doing some of this, but I'm doing some of this. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? You know, so it's like you're actively participating in both, and you're trying to figure out like, okay, can I still keep both of these balls in the air? Can I do this? How do I refocus myself? So that's the challenge that's coming in for our earth signs, is that you're juggling something, and it, you know, with this energy of your Seven of Pentacles in reverse about abandoning projects, it's kind of like one of these projects I think is going to be let go of soon. Like, you know, I'm done with pouring my energy into this, especially if it's something that you're pouring energy into it and it just doesn't feel like that's really the right life path for you. It doesn't light up your soul when you do it. It's more like I'm doing it because I feel like I'm supposed to do it versus I'm doing it because it brings me joy to do it. All right, the jumper card was the Emperor. And then we have the Sun. Once you are able to stand up for what it is that you want, like you stop juggling and you say, you know what, I'm breaking free from this energy, from this devil energy. I'm breaking out of that. When you make that command decision here to say, you know what, I'm gonna step into my divine masculine energy. I'm going to take action. It's going to bring in the blessings and the abundance for you, because the Sun card is all about abundance and blessings. Ooh. That was a bunch that jumped on that. So keep shuffling. Here we go. The end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn. So the end of a tough cycle is approaching for you. This sense of juggling and, oh my gosh, I have to keep doing this and keep doing this, that is coming to an end. And it'll come to an end. I mean, this says approaches, but it'll come to an end when you can stand in this Emperor energy and say, I'm going to make the command decision in my life that I want to move in this direction, versus waiting for the universe or waiting for somebody else or some other situation to step in for you. Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. And some of this, and I've said this before, when the forgiveness card comes up, remember, forgiveness is about freeing up your energetic space where you're no longer being dragged down by the memory of something that somebody did to you. That's not to say that when you talk about forgiveness, it's not that you're condoning their activity or their behavior. It's not like you're saying that's okay for you to treat me that way. It's that you forgive them, that they're like, that you respect where they were on their life path, that was an expression of them and they have growth to do. And you can forgive them without welcoming that behavior, that situation, that circumstance back into your life. The forgiveness is so that you don't continue to have those low vibe energies pulling on your soul space anymore. Take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. And that's kind of the whole thing of, you know, yes, you're going to have periods of activity, and then you need to rest, and then do something else, and then rest, and make sure you're not burning yourself out, because this is, when it says a life's work, you work on things over the course of your whole lifetime. It's not like boom, 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 I get it all done, you know. And even if you're working on like your healing, for example, and your ascension, and kind of feeling like, oh, I need to be totally healed by the time I'm, you know, whatever, pick a date, 30, 40. And it's like, no, but I have to be. Well, what would you do differently in life if you already were? Like, oh, you nailed it. You were totally healed. You're the most enlightened person ever. What would you do differently? And, you know, people would be like, oh, well, then I'd have fun. I'd enjoy myself. Well, enjoy yourself now. You're a work in progress. Like, you don't need to have everything figured out right this very minute. So just keep working, baby steps. So that was the message for earth signs. Now let's move on to our water signs, which is our Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Let's see what we got for you. This one jumped, even though it didn't flip. So in the challenge space, we have the Five of Cups in reverse, as well as the High Priestess in reverse. So the High Priestess in reverse has a little bit of this sense of like, secrecy. Your Five of Cups in reverse energy is going to be kind of this energy of moving on. And so with both of those together in the challenge space, part of your challenge is moving on. Part of it is going to be that forgiveness. So as you break free from this devil energy, it's, forgiving the other person, forgiving yourself, and moving on from it. You also have this challenge of feeling like you're stuck in a 3D cycle, like you're with the inner wisdom, because this is divine feminine energy. And so it's kind of that sense of feeling like you're disconnected from your higher self, from your inner wisdom. And that makes it a struggle as you try to move on, because it's almost like you're second guessing, wait, is this the right thing? I don't know. And if you get to a point where you're feeling disconnected from your higher self, it can really exacerbate this feeling of being like in exile and loneliness and, cut off from your loved ones type of feeling. Oh, all right. So we have this card jump, the Moon card, and then we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So the Moon card is all about lies and trickery and illusions, and then bad timing, feeling like there's delays and bad timing. So I think this is much more disruptive to your life. This isn't just like a little blip on the radar screen of, I'm abandoning the project of wanting to paint my house because it just seems like it's too much. This is like a big milestone thing, and you feel like, wait a second, has somebody tricked me? And since there is this sense of the Moon card and feeling cut off from your intuition, from your higher self, from your wisdom, for some of you, if this is I'll call it like a long-term relationship, and you have opened up to some of your spiritual gifts, it's like there's a sense of, wait a second, why didn't I see this coming? Why didn't I see those red flags? If you have gifts of clairvoyance, or any of the clairs, or psychic or channeling capabilities, or gifts that you've tapped into, that sense of, but why didn't I see this coming? Like, I should have seen it coming. And so it makes you feel like you're very disconnected. Like, how could I have been so wrong about that? And so it kind of sends you into this tailspin where you feel like you're out on your own, like questioning yourself. With that, kind of the push is going to be, keep working on your meditation. Keep working on trying to connect to God, spirit, the divine source. When you pray or you meditate, whoever it is that you pray to, Jesus, Allah, God, work on trying to reestablish that faith and trust in source. If this has kind of been sending you into a spiral, because that's what's coming through, is it's that sense of, my life is off track. Like, how could I have been so wrong? Like, that second guessing yourself. So don't let yourself get totally derailed. This one is surrender to the divine. Know that if you are experiencing that, if you are having that breakdown of, oh my gosh, why didn't I see this coming? Or did I think that I have these gifts and I really don't have these gifts? Like, just surrender to the divine. And when you're asking for guidance, just ask for the next step. Don't ask for, okay, what do I need to do to get my life from here all the way out to there? Just, what is the next step? What do I need to do now? And just kind of surrender to the divine on that. The next one that came up is humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. I was watching an interview with Taylor Tomlinson, was on the Conan O'Brien podcast, and she was talking about like humor, because she's a stand-up comic, and how she had used that to overcome some of these things. Like, she lost her mother when she was very young, and the idea of how do you use humor to overcome some of these things. And she was saying something to that effect, and I was just watching that earlier today, about how that helps for her, it was helping to take some of the sting out of some of these big life things. Like, if she could find the humor in it and find, like, okay, what is the joke? What is the punchline here? And that was helping her overcome it. So if you're feeling like you're overwhelmed, try to find the humor in the situation, and that might help. For some of you, it might help. Pillar of light, your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. So try to keep focused on, the lighter side of things. How can you move past, this cycle of maybe second guessing yourself? So try humor and try to remember that you are a pillar of light. How do you continue to allow your vibration to rise? So, all right. On to our air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Let's take a look and see what messages are coming through for you. The first thing we're going to look at is what is in the challenge space for our air signs, please. The Empress in reverse. All right, so this is going to be kind of feeling a little bit of that gritty energy, like in the challenge space. So the Empress in the upright is going to be that loving, nurturing, flowing type of energy. So for some of our air signs here, you might be in a place where you're sitting in, I'll call it more of the divine masculine energy instead of the divine feminine energy. So you don't have that warm and fuzzy, loving, flowing, nurturing type of energy that you're used to. And so that's presenting a challenge to you because you're looking at it like, why am I cut off from my emotions? And so that's presenting a challenge as you work on trying to break free from, this devil energy, and you try to look at what is the message here? What is the life path? All right. And then we have the Chariot. So this is fast moving energy that's coming in to be able to help you overcome these obstacles. With the Empress in reverse being in the challenge, for some of you, it could also be that is the push. Like the challenge is sit in that energy. If you normally naturally sit in the Empress energy and it's just that loving and flowing, and that's who you are, and that's what normally comes out. With this coming up in the challenge space, for some of you, think about what would it look like in terms of overcoming obstacles, overcoming this devil energy in your life? How could I use more of like the Emperor energy? How could I use being less nurturing, supportive, understanding? Like how could I take a step back from that to be able to overcome my obstacles? Because that's really the key. Is you want to be able to find that balance between being loving, supportive, nurturing, and still having boundaries, still saying, no, I'm directing that loving, nurturing energy back this way to me. I'm not constantly just pushing it out. Nothing is yet set in stone. That means that even if you think, oh, well, this isn't going to happen, or that's not going to happen, or, oh, I'm doomed because of X, Y, Z. Remember, the universe can do whatever it wants. Nothing is set in stone. So work on what is your attitude, towards a situation. Oh my gosh. That was a ton of stuff that just jumped. Blame, perseverance, abundance, and honesty. All right, I'm going to shuffle these back in since I did catch them. So we had health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. And then purpose. I know what I'm here to do. For some of you, this could be coming in really fast, feeling like, what is my purpose? Because these are going together. Like the purple's here, and then this in the middle is like this right here. So nothing is yet set in stone. Even if for the last 20 years of your life you've thought, oh, this is my purpose, I'm supposed to be doing this, but you feel like I've been plugging away at doing that and it's just not doing anything. Be ready. Look for signs of, wait a second, then maybe that's not my purpose. Maybe my purpose is something else. So when you sit in this sense of being exiled, like almost this, sounds terrible, rock bottom energy, and you're able to see, okay, what was the purpose of this? if you had a certain struggle, why did you have that struggle? Is it because you're supposed to learn that lesson and overcome it and share with other people how to overcome it? That could be part of it. And I saw a quote one time that said something to the effect of, if you find yourself, you know, in a rock bottom hole or something like that, or at the bottom of a deep hole in the darkness, there's something that you're supposed to see down there. I don't remember exactly what the quote was, but it was along those lines. So look around you. If you feel like, oh my gosh, what is going on? What is the purpose of you being down there? And then how do you use that to propel yourself forward? I guess I kind of breezed over this one. Health, I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Make sure that you're taking care of your physical body, whether it's sleep, meditation, diet, exercise, things like that, so that your soul can have a body here to be able to do that work. Like if your purpose is helping to, you know, elevate other people, or helping to inspire, you know, whatever it is, helping to inspire homeless people to, you know, get their lives on track, and, you know, whatever it is, you need to have a physical body here to be able to do that. Like if you destroy your body and you die early, you can't help anybody anymore in this lifetime, because there's no physical vessel for your soul. So Mintaken, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. You may be feeling that sense of, you know, I just want to feel that light. I just want to feel that love, that feeling of home. Some of you, this kind of calls to me, and even with this, nothing is yet set in stone, but like, look at these waves. Look at those big choppy waves out there. It's like that longing to feel at home again. And it might take being out in the cold for a little bit to figure out, oh, what direction do I need to go? How do I get back there? But original light workers. So you are a light worker, you know, for those of you that feel that calling, I think it's going to come in pretty quick here. So that is the message for our air signs. As always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. And I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.